Today on For the Record.
Game of life, we all need help. That's what it's about.
He spent 7 seasons with the Steelers.
The better you are for others.
Now, Merril Hoge tells his story.
You have to realize you're in charge of your journey.
From joining the team nearly 40 years ago to his frightening cancer battle.
I appreciate every moment. I live in the moment better now.
For the Record starts right now. Welcome to For the Record. I'm Michelle Wright. Today I want to bring you the first installment in my 2-part interview with former Steeler turned broadcaster Merril Hoge. The former running back has had an incredible life journey, from being drafted in the mid-'80s to playing for the Steelers and the Bears, and later becoming an on-air analyst for ESPN. But along the way, dramatic setbacks, including a cancer diagnosis. Today we learn his story, starting with his continued love for the black and gold. I know you are going to enjoy today's show. We have brought in former Steeler running back Merril Hoge. It is an honor to have you here. It's nice to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you, Michelle.
We have so much to talk about because you have been such an inspiration for so many people, including your book, Find a Way. I want to talk about that coming up, but first I want to ask you, how does it feel to be back in Pittsburgh?
Well, listen, I always consider Pittsburgh home. Everybody goes, where do you live? I go, Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I mean, now, predominantly I'm on Delta Airlines. That being said, though, when I have to say where you're from, I don't even say Idaho anymore. I just say it's Pittsburgh.
How did it feel to live that dream, putting on that uniform every day? For so many seasons. You were here 7 seasons?
Seven
seasons
I had to lose
at
track,
Pittsburgh.
7, and went to Chicago.
And then you went to the Bears. How does it feel to be able to have lived that dream?
Well, I had to kind of paint a picture because we have so much information now that wasn't in existence when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, not everybody had television. So if you did, it was a box yay big, an antenna, 2 knobs, only 3 channels. Okay, so I paint that picture because I never saw football on television until I was 8 years old. And when I saw it, I've been playing in the backyard, and that's when I was like, that's what I want to do. And then the only time you would really get to see television, because we could not have our television on Sunday. So the only time we got to really watch football was the Super Bowl or Monday Night Football. And so who was the team that was on most? Was the Steelers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I fell in love with the Steelers. So I watched them as a kid. I watched them growing up. So when you get drafted, then I come in. This happens all within, say, a 3-day span. I walk in. They draft. Once we're drafted, they fly us all in. We go in the locker room. We have our name on the locker. We sit down. I sit down in my locker. I'm sitting there, and Tony Parisi, the equipment manager, comes over and he goes, "You know whose locker this is?" And I'm like, I sat the wrong locker. I turn around. It has my name on there. I was like, mine. He goes, no. It's Franco Harris's. So they put me in Franco Harris's locker.
Big shoes to fill there. Whoa.
I didn't feel like that. I was just like, oh, that's cool. I'm in Franco Harris's locker. And then next to me is Donnie Shell. My roommate is Mike Webster. And John Stallworth is still playing. So like when I step in the huddle, there's Mike Webster, there's John Stallworth. And I'm like, this is not happening. I've been watching these guys since I was like 10. And now I'm playing with them.
And I didn't know that you were a Steeler fan before you came here.
Big time. And I haven't mentioned the greatest coach in NFL history, Chuck Noll, is our coach still, and Joe Green is our defensive line coach. And so like all of these like bigger than life people are just walking around the environment, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was so surreal. During minicamp, my first 3 days here it was almost overwhelming, but truly exciting.
Well, let's talk about what happened, because we did bring you here to talk about all of your inspirational stories, and a lot has happened to you. Starting with the time you got a concussion, the doctor over the phone cleared you to continue playing, then you got another concussion, and that was really bad.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, I'm glad you set it up like that, because still what happened to me was bad care, improper care. It's still the biggest issue today that we're trying to get better. We bridged the gap a lot, It's not about having head trauma, because the leading cause of head trauma in this entire country is tripping and falling. The most dangerous environment is the home. So you're never going to stop slipping in the shower, falling down the stairs, tripping. You're just not going to do that. We try to minimize and reduce it best we can. So when it does happen, what are the best things to apply? Having protocols, proper evaluation, proper care before you return back to the environment. Now in 1994, even to get cleared over the phone 5 days later, after not knowing where I was, or who I was, by the way, because we were in Kansas City on a Monday night game. When we flew home, I didn't know where we were. I didn't know who I was, and they had to have somebody take me home. And then I came back to the facility 5 days later, and the doctor who saw me, who wasn't a specialist in the arena of the brain arena, just called me on the phone and said, "How do I feel?" Now I felt terrible, but now we're going back to 1994. Nobody told me all these symptoms I need to report. You know, it was never disclosed like that. So I said I felt fine because I wanted to play, and he cleared me. Now, when I had the second one, what happened is when I got to the locker room, most people don't know, I went into cardiac arrest, and they rushed me to the hospital. I was there for several days, and from that journey, I had to learn how to read again. I mean, I went through awful depression. I'd lost all purpose, all hope, and had to start my life over at age 30. And that was probably one of my darkest moments that I've ever experienced. But then
and
it taught me a lot.
How did you push? Yeah, you said it taught you a lot. How did you keep going through that?
Well, I will tell you this. This is where I get when I speak. I talk about pointing fingers, casting blame, and making excuses is a toxic blender of disaster. And the reason I know that, because I did it every day. I was the best, man. I was pointing fingers. I was angry at the Bears. I was angry at the doctor. Man, I'm blaming everybody. And one day I'm laying there, and one of probably the only time I had this little spark, like it's almost like a little light of like hope. But that little hope was like, get your butt off the couch. You're responsible for the first move. Nobody's coming here to get you off that couch. You've been here for a month, pointing fingers, casting blame, making excuses. Where has it gotten you? Nowhere. It's a toxic blender of disaster. It makes your day easy, but your tomorrow harder. And when I realized, it's probably the first real time, even though I've done this before on the journey to playing football, I finally took ownership of where I was, and I was going to change it. And getting off the couch, first and best step I ever made. Now, it was an arduous journey from there. There was a lot of things, but so many people were instrumental in helping me in the process, but it started with me doing it first. First guy I returned a call, who had called me 3 times, Lynn Swann. Lynn Swann knew I went to Chicago partly because I had a big broadcasting deal that I'd gotten. And I did a 2-hour Monday night show at Walter Payton's. I did the pre and the post TV shows. And that was one of my things I was working on, and he knew that. So he invited me to come to Champaign, Illinois, because I was in Chicago for the Michigan-Illinois game to shadow him and his crew. And you know, that just, I've always thanked Lynn for doing that, because that was so genuine of him, and it helped me after I'd helped myself. And so I've talked to people and help them with, like, the mental health aspect of things. There's still a responsibility a person has to themselves to initiate your first steps, to be a person that takes action. And then, yes, you need help. I mean, none of us, game of life, we all need help. That's what it's about. But you're responsible for the first step and moving forward.
I'm sure a lot of people watching this show right now will be experiencing a low in their life. Mm-hmm. Many are in depression right now. And you say that there is hope, there is another side in the future if you just make that first step.
Yeah, it all starts with yourself. I talk to people all the time that, they're stuck on something, and it comes down to this: do you control your mind, or does your mind control you? And how we get up every day, you put your 2 feet on the ground, you have to realize you're in charge of your journey. So, like, how am I going to attack the day? What weapon am I going to deploy upon the day? How am I going to view the day? How am I going to handle things that I don't control? Am I going to harbor them, and am I going to feed them and give them any energy, or am I going to close the noise, focus on the things I can control, and operate in that manner? Now, the more you practice that, the easier it does become. And then you do avoid the noise. You do eliminate the garbage and the trash. You put it behind you, and you focus on what matters. And really what matters is your journey, what you're responsible for, the better you are for others.
You were so well known, and you still are, but even back then you were so well known. Did you find that more difficult? Did you feel like everybody was watching you to see how you were going to respond?
Well, no, at that time, what happened to me, let's use television, for example. When I first started working in television, this was I used Playground initially. This is a great training ground because so many people were helpful and kind and
let's back up for people who might not realize this.
Okay.
Some people will remember that for a short time you were reporting on the sideline for Channel 4, local football games, and you were amazing.
Yeah, well, bless your heart. But people don't know that I was the first player in Steeler history to be in the broadcast booth with Bill Hillgrove and Myron Cope. People will always go, like when I tell them that, they're like, you were? And I go, now, keep in mind, they eventually came out with some roles for us because we were struggling initially. And Myron wasn't a fan, and I understood he wasn't going to be a fan, so I actually met with him. I'm like, I'm here to learn. I got great respect for you. Please do not feel intimidated by me. I just want to add where I can. And Bill, being an incredible guy, he was okay with everything, but we struggled initially. So what they did is they called us in individually and defined our roles. I wish I'd have kept the paper of this because it's actually, I left going, this is awesome, but it's actually funny. So Bill Hillgrove was going to keep being the guy he was, setting up the play. Myron was going to add color like he's always done. No roles changed there. My role was I'll speak when spoken to. That's what they gave me. And I'm like, when I saw it, that's great. Then when I got in the booth, nobody talked to me.
Oh, no.
And so it was hard on them. I learned a lot actually through that process, but I did that for about a year and 5 games, and then I went full time at ESPN the second year and started that journey.
Let's go back just a little bit and talk about why you wanted to become a broadcaster. And after concussions, you were learning to read again, so that must have just been doubly hard on you.
Well, yes. Well, let's go back to when you have some type of head trauma. Some things that one could experience is something that you've always been weak or deficient in can be magnified. Okay, so I had a reading disorder when I was a kid. They discovered it in 6th grade. That's why I would cheat so much, right? And I got caught cheating. So when I got exposed for I couldn't read. And actually it was the best thing ever happened to me because then I went to a special reading class every hour during every day. And it helped me go from I was 3rd grade reading level even though I was in 6th to 12th grade by the time I left. And it was it was such a boost for me. And I never felt like when you leave the room to go do something that you're weak at, I think people, nowadays it's oh, there's a stigma to that. Well, I never had any. I was like, I'm going to get better. And they gave us treats at the end of it, but anyway, so it's this is a plus. And I learned how to read. So when it happened to me, that deficiency came back. I mean, I literally, my daughter was 2 years old. I would read books to her. 2nd grade, 2-year-old type of books like this. And she's the only one that could listen to me. She would sit there patiently and listen to me. And that's how I was able to start reading again, is she was so patient. I didn't use an adult for that because they had no time for that. And it was an arduous journey to get that. But once, it took me about 2 years to get back to being able to read. We call it, and for television, what I did to help me, we called it redneck teleprompting, is we'd hang, instead of having a teleprompter that exists today, we would just hang notes under the camera. Bullet points for me to remember, because I would turn to the camera and completely forget what I was talking about. Because that was another problem. Like having this conversation here, I couldn't listen to anything that you are saying. I just had to remember what I had to say, and then I'd go to the camera and speak.
So it was a long process to heal.
And they were patient with me on that. Good thing a lot of our stuff was taped. Even though they treated it as live, it was taped, so if a mistake was made, and they were made, we could do it again. And
well, how did you have the confidence to do that? I think a lot of people might have just given up with that struggle.
Well, I go back to our responsibility and our journey. When you have a weakness, I remember Chuck Noll was, I could probably do a whole show on Chuck Noll, but I remember Chuck Noll one time come to a meeting before a practice, and he goes, I watch everybody go out to practice, and what do they work on? They work on what they're really good at. He goes, but you know what you should be working on? Is what you're not very good at. And now like a light bulb went off. I'm like, you know, you're right. I go out and do all the things I'm good at. I don't work on anything. I just do them when I got to do them, but I don't work at them. And that kind of changed my scope of like how I approached my profession and my craft and playing, but translated to everything else in life. You know, the weaknesses that I had, I made it more of a point to work on them to make them strong. And it was the guy who challenged me and widened my scope to think of something I would never have thought of.
That's a challenge for all of us
It got
in
me
everyday
some
life.
greatest lesson. I tell you, I could give you so many things that here's where I give myself credit. I am smart enough to realize I will never be around another man like that again or person, and I better listen every time he opens his mouth.
Still ahead on For the Record.
The treatment is brutal. The journey is awful.
Merril Hoge recalls his cancer battle and the message he's sharing after those dark days. Welcome back to For the Record. I want to continue my conversation with former Steeler Merril Hoge by speaking with him about what was certainly a dark time, his battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But he says he emerged from it strong and with a new perspective on life. So let's talk about your next challenge. You were having some back pain.
Yeah.
You went to get checked out, and then another bombshell.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. You talk about great doctors. So Dr. Bradley is an orthopedic doctor. Okay, he's a Steelers team doctor. I'd had the back issue. I just had shoulder surgery from a car accident, not even football. And I came in to get that follow-up, told about my back. I'll never forget what he said. He did the x-ray, he did an exam. He said 1 and 1 equals 3. He goes, there's something missing here. I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna get you an MRI. And I'm like, oh, I ain't got time for an MRI. And he's like, well, I already scheduled it. I was like, oh, okay. So I go get the MRI. I'm leaving. He calls me again. I come back. He said, I think you need to go see somebody. Now, I didn't even know he didn't know what he was talking. He didn't know what it was, but he was like, I think you need to go see somebody, a specialist on this. So he sends me to Stan Marks, now I got to tell you, these names aren't registered because I'd never been in the cancer world. Oncology, that doesn't resonate to me back then. That doesn't say cancer to me. I'm just thinking it's another department of back issues. I go to Stan Marks, and in Stan Marks, they did some exams, they did a biopsy, and then he called me about 7 days later and told me I had a 3-pound tumor in my lower back that was going to require brutal chemotherapy. And all the things he said to me on that day, I said, you lose your hair, you're going to be sick, it'll be a brutal battle. He's like, I can't guarantee it's going to work. And I played 22 years of football, something always worked, and I'd never heard that before. And the reality of dying, chemotherapy and dying is all I could think of. And I understand the sting of death. I lost my mom when I was a kid. So I understand how losing a parent can wreck a home and change lives. And then all I could think about was like, I got 2 kids, 9 and 7. And then the heavier it became. And it was in probably one of the darkest moments where I just told my kids what was going to take place. I wanted them to be aware that I'm going to be sick, tired, and I'm going to be bald. It's going to be odd. And I went right back to that darkness. And it was my daughter who was there with me at one of the worst times. She crawls up in my lap. I don't even remember it. She crawls in my lap, but she gets my attention. And she was like, well, then you know what, Dad? You better find a way. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's all I've been using I use that as a parenting tool. And this little 9-year-old was the perfect person to challenge me. And like those words again, they gave me hope. They changed how I thought about it. I became completely different in how I approached it and how I attacked it, which made a massive difference in my overall treatment. And
it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it required brutal chemotherapy. One of the treatments, or one of the parts of the treatment, is called Red Death. It is, I will tell you this, I've never felt anything violate my body or scream through my veins quicker than on that day. The treatment is brutal. Um, the journey is awful. You know, the hair loss and the sickness, all that exists. I remember some people who had been through what I was about through said, you wake up one day, you have burn holes in your body you can't imagine. And I was like, couldn't believe that, but that happened. So there's a brutal journey to it, but the mental approach to it is a vital component. I remember my nurse telling me just before she gave me my first dose of Red Death, she's like, you know, 80% of this is up to you. It's only 20% of what I'm doing. And then she shared with me just the importance of like my mental approach to things, which I've already understood those values only in a positive way, you know, never in a darkness like this. And she just gave me a certain energy and a certain sense of hope because of her experience with other patients that have approached it like that. And that really helped me. You know, again, I go back to ownership, fell on me. And she challenged me with that. And I accepted it, and it did. It helped the journey so much, be so much better than it could have been, because I was in a dark, awful spot, and those things with my daughter and her helped me get out of it.
How did it change you as a person?
Well, in this one area, I now have a perspective on life I never had before. I do have now, I'll always have, and that's all I would have missed. So my kids were 7 and 9 when I was diagnosed. They're now 29 and 31. Both married, 5 grandbabies. Mm-hmm. And even like a moment like this, to reflect back on experiences here, to see you, I'm like, I would have missed that. And I think about that. I cherish that. I appreciate every moment. I live in the moment better now. I don't get caught up in the past or the future, and enjoying moments and the experiences that I get that I would have missed, because I have lost. Stuart Scott was one of my best friends. He passed away of cancer. Sam Mills, people may know that name, one of the great linebackers, was a good friend of mine. Lost his battle of stomach cancer, and there's been so many people on the journey who lost their battle, and I think of that often, all of their missing.
Still ahead, do you have a message for Steeler fans that have followed your career through 1987? An early look at part 2 of my conversation with Merril Hoge, what he says was his favorite part of being a Steeler. Welcome back to For the Record. Next week, my conversation with Merril Hoge continues as I ask him what he loved most about playing for the Steelers all those years ago.
Here's what I love about the Steeler fan. You know what they ask? They ask you to give everything you got. That's all they ask. And I was like, how are these guys like so appreciative